What's up, guys? I'm back with my 2019 NCAA March Madness picks. I'm doing this from my phone because my software wasn't been working, so I'm doing this old-fashioned. So, without further ado, let's get started. The first one I got Duke, obviously beating North Dakota State. Then I got UCF beating VCU. I don't think VCU's offense is well enough to beat UCF in Taco Fall. And then I got Mississippi State, although a lot of people are picking Liberty because Mississippi State has been showing inconsistency all year long, but Mississippi State is not a bad offensive team, so that's why I got Mississippi State. And then St. Louis is not a really good free throw team. They're the second worst in the country. So with Virginia Tech's three-point shooting, I got Virginia Tech. Maryland Belmont, I really don't know at this point who I'm going to pick, but my first gut tells me Maryland because of their defense. Although I wouldn't be surprised if Belmont did end up beating Maryland. And then LSU will beat Yale, even with their problems with the coaching and stuff like that. I just don't think Yale, with the Ivy League school, is talented enough to beat LSU. And then I got Louisville beating Minnesota. Louisville has faced a lot of tough competition, even though they're inconsistent all year, but Minnesota just doesn't have the offensive power to knock out Louisville. And then I got Michigan State beating Bradley. Up here in the South, I got Virginia not losing to a 16 seed in Gardner-Webb as they'll prevail this one. I got Ole Miss beating Oklahoma. Oklahoma did not look impressive in the Big 12 tournament and losing to West Virginia. And Ole Miss has been really well at the free throw line this year, so I think they'll edge there. And then Wisconsin, Oregon. Wisconsin struggles at free throws, but Oregon has been hot. But right now, I don't beating Wisconsin, and I think Ethan Happ will carry them to beat Oregon. Kansas State is without Dean Wade, and that, even though that didn't really hurt them last year, I think it's going to hurt them this year as they cannot score very well. I got the upset in UC Irvine beating K-State. Villanova, the defending champions, versus St. Mary's. St. Mary's is all around a really well-balanced team, and Villanova has not been the team that everyone thought they would be. So I got the upset again with St. Mary's knocking off Villanova. Purdue versus Old Dominion. Purdue has been really kind of back and forth this year. They've had some good games and had some not so good games. I don't think Old Dominion will stand a chance against Purdue, and I like Purdue there. Cincinnati, Iowa. Iowa's been falling off the sky lately. I like Cincinnati. They won the American Conference, and I got them. And then I got Tennessee also being Colgate. In the Midwest, North Carolina will beat Iona. Utah State will beat Washington. Washington does not do well on the rebounding side, and Utah State is very lethal from shooting. Auburn, New Mexico State. I'm done picking New Mexico State. Every time I pick them, they always lose, and they knock on wood, but I'm going to go with Auburn here as they won the SEC tournament. Kansas and Northeastern. Even though Kansas has been struggling all year long, I don't see Northeastern knocking off the Jayhawks here. I'm going to go Kansas. Iowa State and Ohio State. Ohio State, even though they have Weston, they still have had Weston all year long. They haven't been consistent. I like Iowa State with a hot hand. Houston, Georgia State. No way Houston's going to lose there. Houston's just really good. Wofford, Seton Hall. Really good matchup this first round. But right now, I got Wofford with their three-point shooting and the senior-led team. Even though Seton Hall is not a bad team themselves. And then Kentucky will win there. Up in the West region, I got Gonzaga beating Fairleigh Dickinson. Gonzaga is a really well-balanced team. Syracuse, Baylor. Syracuse just suspended Frank Howard, one of the key guards. So I don't know how well the Syracuse is gonna play, and who knows how long he's out. He might be out whole tournament, but he's definitely out in this game against Baylor. But Baylor, however, has not been really good all year long in the Big 12. They've been really up and down. I'm gonna edge Syracuse, but Baylor, watch out for them against Syracuse without Frank Howard. This is the matchup right here. Everyone's talking about Marquette and Murray State, both with John Morant and Marcus Howard. Each of them are really good on their both respective teams, but I think John Morant will beat Marcus Howard and Marquette, and their supporting cast will upset there. Florida State, Vermont. Florida State went to the final, and they placed against Duke. Battle tough. They beat Virginia. I like Florida State there. Sorry this video is very shaky, by the way. It's kind of hard holding the phone and stuff. Buffalo, Arizona State. Buffalo is having its best season yet, and Arizona State, they survived against Temple last night, but they're turnover prone. I'm not sure how well NFL runs Buffalo, but 7 out of the last 8 years, it's been the Wednesday game that's won the round of 64, and I got a huge upset in Arizona State upsetting Buffalo. And then Texas Tech will beat Northern Kentucky. Nevada, Florida, I got Nevada with the senior-led team with 7 guys as seniors beating Florida, even though Florida is a pretty good team, so they might win, but I don't know. This is just my opinion. And then Michigan will beat Montana. And then I got Duke beating UCF here. I don't think Taco Fall will beat them. I got Virginia Tech knocking off Mississippi State. I got Maryland beating LSU. LSU, I don't think will go any farther past that, even though Maryland, I'm stretching a little bit with them. And this day, it didn't look good against Nebraska. I got Michigan State outlasting Louisville. I don't think Louisville can match up well against Michigan State and Cassius Winston. Virginia will get to the Sweet 16 against Ole Miss. I don't see them beating. I don't see Ole Miss beating Virginia. I think Virginia is out to redemption. Wisconsin will beat UC Irvine, and I don't think UC Irvine will last there. I got St. Mary's upsetting Purdue. Purdue didn't look good against Minnesota, and they overlooked them a little bit in the Big Ten tournament. And so Purdue's just been up and down, and I like St. Mary's right now with a hot hand, beating Gonzaga in the West Coast Conference Final. And then Cincinnati, Tennessee. This one may be an upset right here. Cincinnati's playing in Columbus, not too far from their home. But Tennessee is very hard to stop with Schofield and Williams. I'm going to go with Tennessee. North Carolina and Utah State. Utah State's very lethal from 3, but North Carolina overall is just a really good team. I'm going with North Carolina. Auburn, Kansas. Even though I want to pick my Jayhawks so bad, I got to go with Auburn. Auburn is just a way better team than Kansas right now. Iowa State and Houston. Houston is going to find a way to squeeze into the Sweet 16 after a horrible loss from last year. I'm going with Houston. And then I got a huge upset here. Wofford will beat Kentucky. Wofford is one of the most experienced teams together. They're having their best year yet, and the record's 29-4 coming out of the Southern Conference. And Kentucky lacks the experience as they're the youngest team in the nation in this tournament. And so I just don't think they'll get it done. Now over to the West. Since I had Syracuse originally beating Gonzaga, but with the suspension of Howard, I'm going to move Gonzaga over them. I don't think that 2-3 defense will stop them. And then I got Florida State, even though John Morant is a really good player on Murray State. Potential top 3 pick in the NBA, but Florida State's defense is top 10, and I don't see Murray State going past Florida State. And then I'm going to move Texas Tech over Arizona State with the turnover rate and just being safety because I think Buffalo might win that. It's safer to pick Texas Tech here. And then I do actually have Nevada upsetting Michigan. Michigan does not have the experience that they should, and Nevada with the senior-led team is a good Cinderella pick for me. And now up here we got Duke beating Virginia Tech, even though Virginia Tech could give Duke a battle. And then I got Michigan State moving on to the 8. Virginia will beat Wisconsin. I don't need to explain much there. Virginia, I'm ready for They're ready for redemption. They're ready for revenge. And for St. Mary's, this road ends here. Tennessee will move on. North Carolina will beat Auburn. I think Auburn just doesn't rebound as well as North Carolina. And North Carolina can probably overall be more balanced and play at the up-tempo that Auburn's not exactly used to. And then Houston will beat Wofford as Wofford's end will run there. I right now have Gonzaga beating Florida State. I could see Florida State winning again, but I think Gonzaga will get the revenge. And I still got Nevada being my dark horse this year, upsetting Texas Tech. Texas Tech lost to West Virginia in the Big 12 tournament in the first round, and I just don't see them going past the Sweet 16. And now in the Elite 8, winner of the Final Four, Duke has not been good from the three-point line this year. They're last out of all 68 teams. And Michigan State overall has been really well balanced. They beat Michigan 3 times. I'm moving Michigan State over Duke into the Final Four. Virginia and Tennessee, I got Tennessee, I just can't trust Virginia going to the Final Four yet, as they haven't proven much in previous tournaments. North Carolina and Houston. Fortunately for Houston, the road ends here. North Carolina, better team overall. I'm moving North Carolina to the Final Four. Gonzaga, Nevada. Gonzaga's got the best offense in the nation, but led team. I'm going to pick my dark horse, Nevada, into the Final Four. And now the Final Four between Michigan State and Nevada. Unfortunately for Nevada, they're going to meet their match against Michigan State and Cassius Winston. Michigan State in the championship. And now Tennessee and North Carolina. This could go back and forth. But right now, I got North Carolina beating Tennessee. And now for the champion, I've got North Carolina winning it all with a score 76 to 75, 1-point game. I'm going to say Luke May hits a game-winning 2-point bucket to win the game. Thank you all for watching, and good luck to you all in the tournament. And leave a comment to who you think you won or who in the Final Four. And thanks for watching.